Well, welcome back to the group, Lisanun. What am I going to do with you? Well, I got this 10-minute timer on now. I'm gonna have to create a long series of messages here to try to unpack the problems between the two of us, the problems that represents for a community of friends around me and a community of villagers around you, and the problems it represents for the world. So there's a lot to unpack. You got 3 levels of problems. First, the problem between just you and me. Then, like I said, the problem with the people we know around our relationship. And the problems the whole of humanity faces right now. The whole world. We've got a lot of problems. A lot of things are going to be in sets of 3 or 5. Another set of 3 that we're going to talk about a lot comes from triune brain theory. The brainstem, the limbic system in the middle, and the cerebral cortex on top. And what I'm not willing to do, because of triune brain theory, is I'm not willing to think of people as either good people who are nice or bad people who are harmful. Everybody can be helpful or harmful to other people. Everybody, even little babies, can sometimes be harmful to others, sometimes express a genuine desire to help, even before 1 year of age. These are problems for us to solve, not just quick judgments for us to make. So, if there was just a quick judgment to make, it'd be easy, right? I would just be like, oh no. Lisanun has lied to me a couple of times over the years, exaggerated, shown too much effort to just get money from me and my friends. He's either, professional African scammer or an amateur African scammer, or he's just a random beggar, trying to get an advantage. I just make a quick judgment and I would say, see you later. Goodbye. I don't need this. However, I am motivated to solve problems. Complex problems. Even if it requires a lot of careful analysis. Solving challenges. Solving problems is one of the only ways we have of making life better. And it's better to try, in my opinion, than not to try. So I'm bringing you back to the group early because, I am no longer enraged by my disappointment with you the other day. And so I'm not in the brainstem in the fight or flight or freeze mode. I'm not super angry about that anymore. I'm kind of past it. I'm kind of detached. So we can continue trying to work up at the top in the cerebral cortex on trying to understand reality and solve the problem. But the whole world, let's go back to the zoom out, right? Let's zoom out. The whole world increasingly right now, we're in a period of historical transitions. The whole world, even us talking on these phones, this is a very huge historical transition. We didn't have all this technology in the past. We didn't have the ability to be connected so easily to people across the planet. So we're in a crisis of epistemology. A crisis, I mentioned this in one of the earlier videos, in one of my earlier lectures. We are in a crisis about how to know anything. How to know what's going on in the world, how to know who other people are, what their intentions are, how to even know ourselves and the meaning of our own lives. We are in all kinds of crises in knowing on the top part of our brain, in our cerebral cortex. And our cerebral cortex is designed to know things. I mean, that's why we named ourselves Homo sapiens. People who know and know themselves. And we are in a crisis about what we can know as an entire species with these new technologies, all of this information, all of these people that we can connect to around the planet, including you and me connecting to each other. This puts us in a crisis of knowing. And we're way too overwhelmed by too many people to deal with. Our brain here evolved, our limbic system evolved to deal with small tribes of like 50 to 300 people. That's an ideal community size for a human being, 50 to 300 people. We're not meant to deal with hundreds of viral videos on our phones when we have access to phones and internet. We're not meant to deal with all kinds of people across the planet on a regular basis with such increasing speed and volume and frequency. We're overloading our social emotional processing. We're also, because we're so overwhelmed with so much information intellectually and emotionally, this is also shutting down and messing up a lot of our survival instincts, and leading to what I described in an earlier lecture as, the behavior deterioration phenomena, the behavior sink phenomena. The quality of behavior is sinking down, is getting lower. So people make less effort. They don't know what to do. They freeze like the proverbial deer in the headlights. Like if there's a deer on a road in the middle of the night and a car comes towards it with these bright lights in the middle of the night flashing in its eyes, it can't really see. It doesn't really know what to do. And so sometimes it freezes. It doesn't run away. It doesn't fight. It doesn't know what to do. It's overwhelmed. It freezes. And so a lot of people increasingly are freezing because we have so much chaotic information to process that we don't really know how to handle it. It's not the kind of information we would normally be asked to process on a regular basis in a tribe of 50 to 300 people disconnected from the most of the world. Now, over the last few thousand years, we've gotten somewhat accustomed to living in larger cities, but in those larger cities, people develop more distance from each other. And these phones that are, right in our faces, in our own homes, with so many people from all over the world, in all kinds of intimate situations, expressing themselves in every way that humans can. It's very overwhelming for our brains. But I have a map of the problem here. So I'm going to start going through this map in the next video. So I'll end this one now.